Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, April 25th, 2021. It is the day of Impact Rebellion's pay-per-view. Quite possibly the biggest non-WWE pay-per-view of the year thus far. We'll have to wait and see. But I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com. You can find everything about the show on there, the podcast, videos, interviews, the CHS shop where you can get all your hats and your t-shirts, including this one that I'm wearing right now, which is the Indie Cut with Charlie G map t-shirt. Head over to catchhookshoot.com/shop to check that out. Pick up a shirt, pick up a hat, support the show. Head over to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, watch-alongs, and that kind of stuff. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot. Make sure to follow on twitch.tv/catchhookshoot, where I do watch parties every now and then. I'll be putting out on social media when those are going to be happening. And head to prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for all of your t-shirts that are not available at the CHS shop. There are 5 designs there that are pretty cool, I think, since I designed them all. Of course, I think they're cool, but check those out. And you can find links to all that and more at linktree/catchhookshoot, or scan this little QR code right here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's dive right into everything going on in the wonderful world of pro wrestling this week, starting it all off like always with the match of the week. So this week's match of the week comes from AEW Dynamite, and it is the TNT Championship match between Darby Allin and Jungle Boy. And these are two of the guys who were somewhat lesser known when AEW first started, and I said pretty much from the get-go, these are two of the guys that are going to be the future of AEW, and I think so far I've been right. Two of the more popular guys in AEW, fans are definitely behind them, and they put on a hell of a match this week. If you have not seen it, definitely go back and check it out. It's definitely one that you don't want to miss. Just an amazing match between these two guys. Darby Allin did retain. Then after the match, we saw an attack by Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Saw Lance Archer come out and make the save. So there's a whole lot going on, with Darby Allin and Jungle Boy, and or mostly Darby Allin with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and then Lance Archer in the mix. Saw a little bit of a scuffle between Sting and Luchasaurus during the match, because Luchasaurus was out at ringside with Jungle Boy, and Sting out there with Darby Allin, of course. And but the match itself was just amazing with these two guys. Like I said, these are Darby Allin and Jungle Boy and MJF are, in my opinion, going to be the top 3 guys in AEW in the future. And they're well on their way right now. So definitely check this match out and keep an eye on these two guys in particular, because these two are the future of AEW. I have no doubt about that. So let's keep it moving right along into my next segment of the show, which is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that's called the 3 count. First up on the 3 count this week, Alexa's Playground from Monday Night Raw. As always, I've said a million times, the whole Alexa Bliss and The Fiend storyline on Monday Night Raw is my favorite thing going on right now. And this week we found out a little bit more about Alexa's new friend Lily. Alexa saying that Lily had been with her for a long time, and told a story about how she pushed a little girl off a swing because she wouldn't share her ice cream when she was a little kid, and this kind of stuff, and said Lily made her do it, and Then she went on to say that Lily didn't like The Fiend, or didn't like him, referring to The Fiend, and sent a message to the Raw women's roster that Lily doesn't like them either. So it looks like they are going to be putting Alexa back into the mix as far as actually wrestling, because, you know, for the last several months she's just been involved with The Fiend and Randy Orton storyline that's going on. So now it looks like they are finally going to branch her back out on her own with this new character that she has developed and put her back into the women's division, which I'm very curious to see exactly how that's gonna work out with this new character. Are they gonna keep doing some of the more supernatural stuff during the matches as long as they don't have crowds there, or is Alexa just gonna kind of be, you know, a dominant force, kind of like The Fiend was? And how does Lily work into all of this? Is Lily gonna be kind of Alexa's alter ego like The Fiend is to Bray Wyatt? A lot of stuff that could potentially be done with this, so I'm very, very excited to see what they're going to be doing with Alexa Bliss going forward. Number 2 on the 3 count, promo from the Pinnacle on AEW Dynamite, you know, of course, talking about the Inner Circle, the Blood and Guts match coming up on May 5th, and actually saw our first real mic work from Wardlow in this promo, and he did not disappoint. I mean, up to this point, Wardlow had been not completely silent. We got a few words from him here or there, but I would say this is his first real full-on promo, and he killed it. That was the highlight of it for me. I think everybody knows I'm a huge Wardlow fan, and I was, you know, very, very excited when he signed with AEW. So, yeah, definitely great promo from Wardlow and from the Pinnacle as a whole, especially MJF. I mean, MJF is just magic on the freaking microphone. I've never seen a bad promo from MJF. So, yeah, definitely building the hype for this Blood and Guts match, the 2-ring cage match. I'm guessing kind of like War Games. I guess we're supposed to find out more about it this coming week, because there's supposed to be a parlay between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. And it, you know, kind of implied that to lay down the rules, I guess, for how this Blood and Guts match is going to work. So keep an eye out for that one coming up on Wednesday. And number 3 on the 3 count, Charlotte calling out Dave Meltzer on social media. You know, Meltzer had kind of talked a little bit about why Charlotte was taken off TV, because she, you know, it was announced that she was suspended for attacking the referee on Raw, and suspended indefinitely, fined $100,000. Obviously, you know, in storyline, but Meltzer saying the real reason is to have dental work done, which, you know, it's dental work. If she needs dental work, she needs dental work. Whatever. Who cares? It's her business. But and then he went on to say, you know, oh, she's having a full makeover, implying, you know, plastic surgery and that kind of stuff, and talking about, you know, well, that's what's expected of the women in WWE. They have to look a certain way and this and that, and just really, you know, I'll get more into this a little bit later in the show, but, you know, just really talking about stuff that, you know, he has no real knowledge of. But, and, you know, Charlotte called him out on it. She basically said, you have my phone number. It would have taken a 30-second phone call to get the actual information, but instead you're putting out bullshit. So, you know, Charlotte just calling out Meltzer, which needs to be done more often, quite honestly. Not just with Meltzer, with any of these dirt sheet guys who just report pure crap, and people will happily swallow it, thinking that these guys actually have inside information, which 99% of them do not. So, but yeah, Charlotte calling out Dave Meltzer, I thought it was great. You know, I love it when these dirt sheet guys get called out on their crap and just taken down a peg. It needs to happen more often. So let's get into news and rumors and results for the week, starting off with WWE and Monday Night Raw. To open the show, we had a promo from Drew McIntyre, who was interrupted by MVP, and then McIntyre again attacked by Mace and T-Bar, formerly of Retribution. It would appear that they have some affiliation with the Hurt Business now. I don't know if they're full-fledged members or just kind of acting like mercenaries, but yeah, Mace and T-Bar once again attacking Drew McIntyre. And then Viking Raiders taking on Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin again. Had a lot of repeat stuff from last week on both Raw and SmackDown. And of course, the rumor is that there was another COVID outbreak within WWE, and that's why, they're kind of recycling the same stuff for a couple of weeks. But who knows? I didn't see any reliable verification of that, so who knows how much truth there is to it. And then we saw another promo from Charlotte, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley, kind of just hyping up the women's championship picture, and so a nice, I think a nice little three-way rivalry developing there. Matt Riddle defeated Randy Orton, which was originally supposed to be Randy Orton and Braun Strowman, and but Braun for some reason taken out of that match. Well, actually, no, not for some reason. I mean, he did show up. He did show up later on in the show in a different storyline, which I'll get to in a second here. Lana and Naomi picked up a win over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with a little bit of help from Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, creating a distraction. This was a non-title match, of course, so title did not change hands, but Lana and Naomi did pick up a victory over Nia and Shayna. So and they're continuing to build a little bit of dissension between Nia and Shayna, mostly revolving around Reginald, who Nia seems to be a bit infatuated with. So I'm thinking, they're eventually going to be dropping the titles due to some type of something with Reginald, and then we're going to see Nia and Shayna, in a rivalry of their own. But that's just my opinion. That just seems to be where it's going. Elias picked up a win over Kofi Kingston. A little bit of an upset there. They're playing up this rivalry between the New Day and Elias and Jackson Riker. Excuse me. Then we had a backstage segment, again, playing up the dissension with Shayna and Nia. Shayna telling Nia she better get her head in the game or else, quote unquote. And Nia was just kind of left standing there like, or else what? She wasn't real specific, but I don't know. Shayna Baszler tells you or else. I would listen. Shayna's kind of a badass, even though haven't been really showcasing her as one as much as they used to. But I like I said, I am curious to see how they're gonna keep going with this one. And then we had what was supposed to be originally a one-on-one match with McIntyre and I believe it was T-Bar, but it actually ended up being a tag team match with Mason T-Bar taking on Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. This is where Strowman showed up in the show. And Mason T-Bar actually won this match by disqualification, and both of them were unmasked. So it looks like the Retribution masks are no more, which thank God. I'm wondering if they're going to stick with the names Mason T-Bar or let them go back to being Dio Madden and Dijakovic or Dijak or whatever they're going to call him. So I have to wait and see on that one. But so Mason T-Bar unmasked, and like I said, definitely for the better, I think. Damian Priest defeated The Miz. Sheamus had an open challenge for the United States Championship, in which he just destroyed Humberto Carrillo, who I can't remember the last time we saw him on TV. Asuka got the win over Charlotte with a little bit of help from Rhea Ripley. And this is where Charlotte just went off and attacked the referee after the match, which ended up getting her suspended indefinitely and fined $100,000 from Adam Pearce. Moving on to NXT, we had the show open with a promo from Kyle O'Reilly, who was interrupted by Cameron Grimes. Grimes trying to, form some type of partnership with O'Reilly. O'Reilly basically told him no in no uncertain terms, and this ended up in a match at the end of the show. LA Knight defeated Dexter Lumis with really due to a distraction from Indy Hartwell, and the Way came out to save, quote unquote, Indy from Dexter. So they're really playing up this Indy and Dexter romance, I guess you could call it that. And apparently WWE has actually filed to trademark the term index. So they're apparently they're going all in on this one. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. There was a backstage interview with Io Shirai talking about the women's championship, and Io basically saying she's going to be taking some time off. This was interrupted by Frankie Monet, which Io was not happy about. So that is a match I'm hoping to see sooner rather than later. I mean, Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, whatever you want to call her, versus Io Shirai. Yeah, please give it to me. Grizzled Young Veterans defeated Breezango. We saw the debut of Saray taking on Zoe Stark. This was a damn good match between these two women. I wasn't really happy that they did this matchup right now because Zoe Stark just, starting to get some momentum, and Saray making her debut. It's really kind of, not a no-win situation really, but, I personally would have put somebody else in there with Saray, but just to keep Zoe Stark on her winning streak. I guess she's had a couple of good victories, but damn good match between these two. I was worried that it would kind of hurt Zoe Stark taking the loss, but it really didn't because she put on a damn good showing. And then after the match, Toni Storm attacked Zoe Stark in the aisle on her way back up, so they're still going to continue with this Toni Storm and Zoe Stark rivalry, which, yeah, I'm definitely good with that one. Kushida retained the Cruiserweight Championship versus Oni Lorcan, and then was attacked by Legado del Fantasma after the match, and save was made by MSK, so it looks like pretty sure we're going to be seeing some six-man tag team matches with Kushida and MSK taking on Legado del Fantasma, which, that should be a pretty damn good matchup. So we'll have to wait and see when that's going to come up. Imperium gets the win over Everrise, and during the match we saw Killian Dane come out and confront Alexander Wolf outside the ring, and then while that was going on, Drake Maverick came out and just kind of punched Wolf in the face and was carried off by Killian Dane. Didn't really break down into anything more than that. But I'll say it again. I think we are going to see Killian Dane at some point joining Imperium, which I think it is a good move, because Killian Dane really should be in a more prominent position. Nothing against Drake Maverick. It's an odd pairing as far as a tag team, and for a guy the size and with the size and the intensity of Killian Dane to be put in kind of a comedy act, I don't know. It seems like a waste to me. It's not my favorite thing going on in NXT right now. And then in the main event, Kyle O'Reilly got the victory over Cameron Grimes to end the show. And apparently we're going to be seeing Adam Cole making his return to NXT this coming week, so that should be interesting. I'm interested to see if they're going to continue the rivalry with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Moving on to NXT UK, Joe Coffey got a win over Eddie Dennis in a very good match, and then at the end we saw a brawl between Gallus and the Hunt. Mustache Mountain coming back together to pick up a win over Noam Dar and Shaw Samuels in another really good match. NXT UK, I've said it over and over again, has just very, very good wrestling. Moving on to SmackDown, right at the top of the show, we saw a promo between Cesaro and Seth Rollins. This was interrupted by Jey Uso and Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and they're Daniel Bryan basically saying that Cesaro deserves a Universal Championship match, and really kind of campaigning for him to get it. Ended up in a tag team match, Bryan and Cesaro getting the win over Uso and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins just kind of walked out in the middle of the match and left Uso on his own. And then after the match, again, Daniel Bryan on the microphone really campaigning for Cesaro to get a Universal title match, calling out Roman Reigns, who never came out, and Jey Uso ended up taking, I don't know how many giant swings from Cesaro during this time. So pretty good little segment. But I mean, this whole opening segment, from the promo to the match to the promo after the match, was almost half the show. So again, it appears WWE is working a little bit short-staffed just because of the limited number of talent being used and how long some of these segments are going. Tamina got a win over Nia Jax. Again, playing up the Reginald angle, causing some problems between Nia and Shayna. Apollo Crews retained the Intercontinental title against Kevin Owens with some help from his new bodyguard, I guess you could call it, Commander Aziz, former Dabba-Kato or Babatunde. But big 7-foot monster in his corner. And then after the match, Cruz was being interviewed backstage and was attacked by Big E. So Big E, really still going after Apollo Crews, wanting his rematch for the Intercontinental title. And we finally saw something from Aleister Black. Saw a vignette of him, so he will be making his return, and it looks like he's going to be in a pretty good spot when he comes back. It was a very good vignette. Definitely go back and check it out. Looks like they're kind of taking him back to, what he was supposed to be originally, character-wise. So I'm excited to see Aleister Black back in the ring. He's been out for way too long, so I can't wait to see that one. We saw Bayley cutting a promo on Bianca Belair backstage, and they've got a match set for Backlash for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Bayley was interrupted by Montez Ford, who had Bianca on the phone because she wasn't at the Thunderdome. And then when they came back from commercial, Bianca had made her way to the Thunderdome and gotten in Bayley's face. So we saw a little bit of a face-off between the two of them, just building up to their match at Backlash. Rey and Dominic Mysterio got another win over Chad Gable and Otis, so they're keeping this one going. I'm not sure what the purpose of it is really, but it is what it is. And then at the main event segment of the show, we didn't really get a match, but another promo segment with Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro, and basically it ended up Roman challenging Daniel Bryan for next week for the Universal Championship, and if Bryan loses, he has to leave SmackDown. So, and Daniel Bryan's been saying, his contract is coming up, so he, and it's kind of uncertain or unclear what he's going to be doing when his contract is up. It's I've seen, snippets from interviews that he wants to continue wrestling in WWE at least part-time, but he also wants to be able to wrestle other places, but he also wants to spend more time with his family. So really unclear what the future holds for Daniel Bryan, so it's something to have to keep an eye on. Moving on to some AEW news, there's a couple of quick highlights from Elevation and Dark. From Elevation, really good interview with Paul White interviewing the Acclaimed, just talking about their journey to AEW and their background and stuff like that. Really, really good segment. Honestly, I would highly suggest checking it out on Elevation. And then I've decided with Elevation and Dark and shows like this, I'm just going to kind of highlight what was my favorite match from the show, because these shows, they're sometimes run between 2 and 3 hours. So, and it's, Elevation, the name really suits it because it's there to elevate the talent that you don't see on Dynamite every week, to get them that the TV exposure. Even though it's on YouTube, it's not on TV. It's still same exact setup as Dynamite. So it gets them experience wrestling in front of the cameras. So I think it definitely a very good and Elevation and Dark, both very good shows. It showcases a lot of talent that you wouldn't otherwise see, not just AEW talent, but independent talent. And from Elevation, the match I want to highlight this week is Abaddon versus Sky Blue. Abaddon has become one of my favorite wrestlers in the AEW women's division. We've seen her on Dynamite a handful of times. She's actually gotten a championship match against Hikaru Shida. And, like I said, one of my favorites. She's got that dark zombie type character, which I think is really cool. I like those kind of characters, hence why I like Alexa Bliss and Rosemary and those type of characters. So yeah, definitely check this match out, Abaddon versus Sky Blue. From Dark, Dante Martin versus Fuego del Sol. Man, these two guys just went out there and tore it up. So if you don't want to sit there through the whole hour and a half, 2 hours of AEW Dark, go straight to this match. Dante Martin from Top Flight taking on Fuego del Sol. Absolutely amazing match. And speaking of Top Flight, apparently Darius Martin is going to be out for, I believe it was like 9 months to a year. Had to have surgery to repair an injury. So, looks like Dante Martin's going to be flying solo for a little while. So, but yeah, hopefully Darius Martin, heals up and without any complications, so he can get back. And because Top Flight, one of the best young tag teams out there. So I really want to see them back in the mix in the AEW tag team division. Moving on to Dynamite, Hangman Page got a win over Ricky Starks. This was actually a contender for match of the week. Definitely go back and check that one out. Penta picked up a win over Trent with interference from Alex Abrahantes, one of the Spanish announcers for AEW. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool seeing him in the mix. I didn't think I would like this, but I do like seeing him with Penta and the role that he's playing, kind of translating for Penta and just being that heel weasel type manager type guy, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, Penta did get the win over Trent with help from Alex Abrahantes. We saw that promo from the Pinnacle that I talked about a little while ago. Hikaru Shida retained the AEW World Women's Championship against Ty Conti in another damn good match, another contender for match of the week here. So go back and check that one out if you haven't seen it. And at the end of the match, since Ty Conti did take the loss in this one, we saw an appearance from Britt Baker, who basically came out and claimed the #1 contender spot. Then we had a promo from the Inner Circle talking about the parlay next week with the Pinnacle. Something I noticed on this one, everybody in the Inner Circle spoke except for Ortiz. He's the only one that didn't get on the mic, and he just stood there. You know, the expression on his face never changed. He was very stoic, and usually Ortiz is the one who's really like animated and out there and just kind of over the top sometimes. And he just stood there stone-faced and silent through this whole promo with the Inner Circle. Don't know if that means anything. Don't know. I'm not saying, you know, he's going to be turning on the Inner Circle. I hope not, because Santana and Ortiz, one of the best damn tag teams in wrestling right now. I don't see AEW splitting them like WWE probably would. But I just thought that was interesting, and something caught my eye. He was just, like I said, stood there just stone-faced and silent through this whole promo. QT Marshall got a win over Billy Gunn with some help from Anthony Ogogo, and this just continuing the Nightmare Family versus the Factory rivalry. Didn't see Cody on Dynamite this week, kind of conspicuous by his absence, but then we did see Dustin Rhodes make the save for Billy Gunn, and a really cool spot at the end of this match when the brawl kind of broke out. QT was about to basically beat down Billy Gunn with a wooden chair, which you don't see anymore. But Dustin ended up getting a hold of that chair and shattered it over the head of Nick Camarado. This was almost an exact reenactment of a spot between Dusty Rhodes and Ming from a number of years ago, and I'm sure most of you guys have seen the video of this. It's pretty much everywhere online. All you got to do is just Google up Dusty Rhodes Ming chair, and you'll see Dusty Rhodes just shattering a wooden chair over Ming's head, and Ming just completely no-selling it and just going right back after Dusty. And this was the exact same spot, and it was great. Dustin just smashing that chair over Camarado's head, and Camarado just standing there and completely no-selling it. So pretty cool little spot, little homage to a famous Dusty spot there. We saw a promo from the Elite from their trailer at outside Daly's place. And while Kenny Omega was talking, somebody outside the trailer was honking their horn really loud and distracting them. Turns out it was John Moxley and Eddie Kingston in a pickup truck, which they smashed into the Elite's trailer. Tried to go in looking for him, but the Elite was gone already, so they just kind of smashed up the trailer a little bit. So this was a cool little segment there. Christian got the win over Powerhouse Hobbs in another really good match, and this is continuing the rivalry between Christian and Team Taz. And then we had the main event, Darby Allin retaining against Jungle Boy. Again, go back and watch this match. Fantastic match between these two guys. Darby Allin retaining the TNT Championship. Moving on to Impact Wrestling. Impact this week was all about building up to Rebellion. We saw a lot of videos from Sami Callihan and Trey Miguel building up to their match. A lot of stuff building for Swan versus Omega in the title unification match for the AEW, Impact, and TNA World titles. And, the different wrestlers giving their predictions for this match. So the build to this match is very, very good. Then we saw an in-ring promo from Rich Swann with Kenny Omega up on the big screen. At the end of this, we saw Moose come out. Moose, of course, the former TNA champion who Rich Swann won that title from. He wishes Swann luck in the match and then warns him he better not lose. So I think we're going to be seeing some more Moose versus Rich Swann in the future. And then Jordan Grace's tag team partner was revealed for Rebellion coming up. I had said last week I thought it could possibly be Taylor Wilde. Turns out it was going to be Rachel Ellering, which, this it was originally a match going on between Jordan Grace and Kiera Hogan. No, it was Tasha Steelz. I'm sorry. Jordan Grace and Tasha Steelz. Kiera Hogan interfered, ended in the DQ, and a 2-on-1 beatdown on Jordan. Then we saw saw Rachel Ellering come running out for the save, and I am all about this tag team. Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering, yeah, give me that team all freaking day. So I cannot wait to see that match. Eric Young got a win over Eddie Edwards, and this just broke down into an 8-man brawl, with, again, leading to the 8-man tag team match on Rebellion coming up tonight. And also an interesting note from this past week, Mauro Ranallo is going to be doing commentary for the main event of Rebellion, the Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann match. So I don't know if this is just a one-off or if Mauro is going to be doing more work for Impact going forward, but it'll be cool to see him back calling some wrestling again. And another rumor that I just read today, this is from Gary Cassidy at Inside the Ropes. Kaz XL, or formerly known as Big Cass in WWE, is set to make his Impact debut possibly as early as tonight. So keep an eye out for that. Are we gonna see Big Cass somehow making an appearance on Rebellion tonight? Moving to some MLW news, we found out MLW is going to be coming to Vice TV this spring, so that's pretty cool. Same network where Dark Side of the Ring is shown. So, a little bit larger platform for MLW. So they are continuing to grow and get some more national exposure, which is great because MLW has some great talent and they put on some great matches. We found out we're going to have Myron Reed versus Leo Rush 2 for the World Middleweight Championship coming up on May the 5th. MLW is going to be returning in front of fans on July the 10th at the old ECW arena in Philadelphia, so I'm sure that, that is something that a lot of people have been looking forward to. And, the big match this week was Buku Dao picked up a huge upset victory over TJP. Now, if you don't follow MLW, Buku Dao was kind of the TJP was kind of his mentor, and TJP turned his back on Buku Dao in a tag team match because they lost and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, Buku Dao picking up the victory over TJP. So a little bit of an upset there, but a pretty cool match. Some Ring of Honor news. Their 500th episode, TV episode, was this week, and it was two great classic Ring of Honor matches. First was for the Pure Championship, Jonathan Gresham retaining against Jay Lethal, two members of the Foundation, and my God, this match was amazing. Just, I mean, when they say pure wrestling, this is what they're talking about. So I've said it many times about Ring of Honor's Pure Division. If you love mat-based, ground-based, submission-style wrestling, you gotta watch Ring of Honor. Just watch one Pure Division match and make it this one. Gresham versus Lethal from this week. This match was everything that a pure wrestling match should be. It was freaking amazing, and Jonathan Gresham did retain. And then the second match of the week, Mark Briscoe versus Jay Briscoe, the Briscoe brothers going after each other. And Mark Briscoe actually won the match by countout, which a little bit of a surprise, getting a countout in Ring of Honor, because they actually have a 20 count outside the ring, kind of like New Japan. But Mark Briscoe defeating Jay Briscoe by countout. A little bit of New Japan news. Filthy Tom Lawler wins the New Japan USA Cup as well as the Strong Openweight Championship. So, brand new champion crowned for that brand new championship title in New Japan. Some NWA stuff. Tyrus is the new number one contender for the TV championship, so he'll be getting a match against the Pope D'Angelo Dinero or Elijah Burke or whatever you want to call him, whatever he's going by these days. So he will be getting, Tyrus will be getting a TV title match. And we saw Trevor Murdoch get just beaten down by Strictly Business. Trevor Murdoch really, making a push for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently held by Nick Aldis. So let's get into the big news going on this week, which is Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view happening tonight, and some really good matches lined up. So let's go through the card here. Fire and Flava, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz defending the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship against Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. I'm picking Jordynne and Rachel in this one. I think we are going to see new Knockouts Tag Team Champions, and like I said, Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering is one hell of a tag team. I mean, that's just pure power. And honestly, these two, I think just from a fan's perspective, I think they fit together so well. I mean, they need a name. They need a tag team name, Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. But yeah, Jordan and Rachel is my pick for your new Impact tag team champions. Then we've got an 8-man tag team match. Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, James Storm, and Willie Mack taking on Violent by Design, Eric Young, Cody Deaner, Joe Doring, and Rhino. Now, Eric Young was injured during the TV tapings. Believe it was an ACL tear, so I don't know if he will actually be in this match. So if he's not, I'm wondering are they going to replace him? Are they going to make it a 6-man match and have just have one of the other 4 guys just at ringside, or how is this going to work? But yeah, I don't know. I got to go with Violent by Design on this. They're pushing these guys so hard and building them up to be like the top heels in the company right now. So I got to go with Violent by Design for this one. Then we've got a last man standing match between Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan. Lot of hype around Trey choosing to stay with Impact rather than going to WWE with the other 2 rascals. So I'm picking Trey Miguel in this one to get the victory over Sami Callihan. Then we've got a singles match. Matt Cardona taking on Brian Myers, former tag team partners. You know what? I'm going with Brian Myers in this one. I just think he's kind of had the upper hand in this rivalry so far, and I think they're going to carry it on for a little while, so I'm sure Cardona will get the victory back at some point, but I'm going with Brian Myers in this match. And then we've got a three-way match for the X Division title. Ace Austin taking on Josh Alexander and TJP. Of course, Ace Austin, the current champion. You know what? I think it's time for Josh Alexander to have a singles title. So I'm picking Josh Alexander to get the victory in this match. And then for the Knockouts Championship, Deonna Purrazzo defending against Tenille Dashwood. I'm picking Deonna Purrazzo in this one. And I think this may be where we see the re-debut of Taylor Wilde, because they've been showing the vignettes and saying she's going to be debuting in April. Well, if she doesn't debut tonight, then she's got to debut on Thursday. So, but I think they may throw her right into the championship mix. So if she's going to debut tonight, I think this is where we see it sometime either during or after the Knockouts championship match with Deonna and Tenille. So, but I am picking Deonna Purrazzo to win this one. And then for the Impact World Tag Team Championships, FinJuice returning from Japan and defending against the Good Brothers. I think the Good Brothers get the titles back. I think putting the belts on FinJuice was cool, just to kind of, get some eyes on Impact. On the international level, have them, take the titles over to Japan and wrestle with them over there. But I think the Good Brothers get the championships back tonight. And then the big one, title versus title for the Impact and TNA World Championship versus the AEW World Championship. Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega. I have to go with Kenny Omega. I have to. They're building him to be the new belt collector, something that Austin Aries did several years ago. But yeah, Kenny Omega right now, the AEW World Champion. He's the AAA Mega Champion. I think they're going to put the Impact and TNA championships on him. And yeah, I'm wondering how far this is going to go with Kenny Omega collecting these belts. But they have said there will be a definitive winner. The winner will take on the schedules of both companies. So, because a lot of times there have been matches like this in the past, and they've always ended in some kind of schmozz finish, count out, disqualification, whatever. And you never really saw that unified championship between two different promotions. So, and they've sworn this is going to be different. There will be a winner. There's going to be Impact and AEW referees. Tony Khan will be there along with Don Callis and Scott D'Amore. So I think we are going to see Kenny Omega pick up the Impact and TNA championships from Rich Swann. So yeah, that is the rundown for Impact Rebellion coming up tonight. This will probably be the first Impact pay-per-view that I've watched in quite a while. So I am looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to that main event. So I can't wait to see that. And a little bit of miscellaneous news here. Warrior Wrestling has set their August Stadium Series date. It will be August the 21st. So, yeah, if you have not gotten your tickets for the Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series yet, head to warriorwrestling.net or head to catchhookshoot.com under the events page, and you'll find links there to get your tickets. But, yeah, the event's coming up June 5th, July 17th, August 21st. And for, yeah, the first matches for June 5th have been announced. Kylie Ray making her return to the ring, defending the Warrior Wrestling Women's Championship against Holidead. Was originally supposed to be versus Thunder Rosa, but she has had to change her scheduling for this one due to NWA filming. But Kylie will be taking on Thunder Rosa at the August 21st show. And it was also announced Deonna Purrazzo will be taking on Ray Lynn on June 5th. So Deonna Purrazzo, the Impact Women's Champion, making an appearance at Warrior Wrestling. Sam Adonis will be taking on Matt Cardona on June the 5th. This one has the potential to steal the show. Cannot wait to see this one. And also Trey Miguel defending the Warrior Wrestling Championship against Lee Moriarty. That match is going to be insane. It's going to be impossible. Not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult for me and Charlie on the call on this one. But, wouldn't have it any other way. So cannot wait. And this is just the first show, guys. This is just June 5th. Still 2 more after this in July and August. So, Warrior Wrestling really just pulling out all the stops this summer. So I cannot wait to get back out to Warrior and call these matches for you guys. Some other WWE news, Mark Carrano, as well as several other people from the WWE Talent Relations Department, have been fired after Mickie James posted some pictures online of her belongings from WWE being sent to her in a garbage bag. I mean, come on. A billion-dollar global company is behaving this way. That's just ridiculous. It's disrespectful. It's unprofessional. And, the WWE acted on it pretty much immediately because, other wrestlers spoke out like, yeah, that happened to me, X number of years ago. Maria Kanellis and Gail Kim both, speaking up saying, yep, same thing, sent them their stuff in a garbage bag. And it's like I said, it's unprofessional. It's disrespectful. How hard is it to, like if you're working in an office and you get laid off, let go, whatever the case may be, how hard is it to put the person's personal effects neatly in a FedEx box or something and ship it to them? It's not difficult and it's professional. So doing this, a company like WWE is just wrong on a number of levels. But, to their credit, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon both offering public apologies to Mickie James, and, Mark Carrano, who was apparently the responsible party for this, is no longer with WWE. So that's going to do it for news and rumors and results for this week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey there, wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with this week's heavily edited Indie Cut. There was a lot of wrestling action, so I left a few shows out. So let's begin with Friday, April 16th. Wrestling for a Cause, the fight for Grayson, Day 1. For their WFC Prime Time title, they had first round tournament matches. Mostly Tommy Dean defeated Sameda, and Cruz defeated Alan Jefferson. For their WFC Hometown Heroes title, champion Dmitry Alexandrov defeated Richie Adams. And for their WFC Heavyweight title, champion Alex Royal defeated Tino Valentino. Down to Unified Wrestling Oklahoma and Bethlehem, Oklahoma. For their EPW Internet Television title, Father Podge defeated champion Shadow Gemini to become new champion. Over to Pro Wrestling Trinity Cup Day 1 from Piedmont, Alabama. They had 4 Trinity Cup first round matches, pretty much 8 trios tag matches, so no need to say all those names. For the PSW tag titles, however, Jay Too Strong and Proc Johnson defeated champions Ace Haven and Damian Seratone to become new champions there. Down to CMLL, of course, in Mexico, Mephisto and Valente, there you go, defeated El Serrano Jr. and Virus. And Angel de Ora defeated Negro Casas. They're getting ready for their anniversary show later today. There was also a Welcome to My Barrio show, also in Mexico. I edited out all those names. On to Saturday, April 17th. Stardom Cinderella Tour in Takasaki. Another fine show for what I was able to see, since my computer is being a little bit of a punk lately. Mina Shirakawa defeated Lady C. Tam Nakano and Unagi Sayaka defeated Konami and Rina. Himeka, Maika, and Etsupoi defeated Hina, Saya Kamatani, and Yutami Hashita. Julia and Siri took on Azumi and Momo Watanabe to a 15-minute draw. And Fukigen Death, Natsuka Toro, and Ruaka defeated Hanan, Mayu Iwatani, and Starlight Kid. As I said, interesting, fun show, good show, of course. You can't beat Stardom right now. They're probably like the best thing going. To J Stage Pro Wrestling in Japan. This is where all the Kaliga Pro guys kind of went for a while. So Single Hero Erie defeated Kukataro. Al Lindemann defeated Shoji Otani. Shuma Katsumata defeated Jun Saka. Noki Tanazaki and T-Hawk defeated Kenshin Shikano and Rising Hayota. And then they also had a next stage show, pretty much, I guess, up-and-comers later that day, so no need to get into that. Back here in the States, we go to Zoa Live Blackhawk Bash 3 from Oregon, Illinois. I didn't realize there was an Oregon, Illinois until really today. Who knew? Christian Rose defeated Connor Braxton. Rough Crossing defeated JJ Garrett. For the Zoa title, champion Connor Hopkins defeated Chiron. And Bailey Bright defeated Dakota. So I'm sure that show was just fine right there. Down to Wrestling United from Franklin, Georgia. For their WU title number one contendership match, Trevor Aon defeated Frankie Valentine. Back over to Wrestling for a Cause, to Fight for Grayson Day 2 from Owasha, Oklahoma. Semi-final matches for their primetime title. Reed defeated KG Everly. Tommy Dean defeated Cruz. In their tag team title match, Jason Jones and Paul Puerto Rico defeated champions Brawler Morrison and Thrash to become new champions. And then finally, for the primetime title, Tommy Dean defeated Reed to become champion. Congrats to him. To Viral Pro Wrestling, Undeniable from Thompson, Georgia. Kept this in here for Hold My Beer Hansen and William Huckabee defeated Colby Carino and Rob Killjoy. For the vacant VPW heavyweight title in a scramble match, Darius Lockhart defeated Sean Legacy at the end to win that. Back to Southern Fried Championship Wrestling from Monroe, Georgia. Ben Buchanan and Bull Buchanan defeated Ashton Starr and Michael Stevens. Sal Vernaro and Sunny Days defeated Bobby Moore and Techi Makuchu. Griff Garrison and Will Caution defeated Austin Towers and Nick Halen. And then at the end of the night, they had an 8-man battle royal of all the tag teams that won, and I guess the champions. And Griff Garrison won that. So it looks like Griff is doing better there than in AEW Dark. To Pro Wrestling Havoc, Vendetta from Jackson, Michigan. For the vacant Grand River title, Cassidy Keith defeated Briar Wellington. For the women's title, Randy West defeated champion Taryn to become the champion. For their tag titles, Ace Evans and Road Rash, nice name, defeated champions Brandon Pope and Nick Pope to become new champions. And for the vacant PWH title, in a 5-way match, Ace Evans won that. Pro South Wrestling Trinity Cup Day 2 from Piedmont, Alabama. In the Trinity Cup final match, it was Aleister Crow, Cameron Keast, and Reynolds defeating Blackstrom, Cornelius Krumels, and Sonny Defarge. Okay. Sorry about that. There was a Martinez Entertainment Lucha Libre Mexicana show in Fort Worth, Texas, where Ariz defeated Raxo. That's the only names I understood or knew of in that show. Then on Facebook, High Tension Wrestling, Camp Leapfrog, Matt Mikowski's Frog Sport, all week had opening sessions, so one show each. I'm not going to get into all those shows, so if you want to check out Camp Leapfrog or High Tension Wrestling, check out their Facebook page. Then to AAW Alive number 6 here in Villa Park, Illinois at Arena Galley on Twitch. I hope you all check that out. It's back at 6:30 p.m. every Saturday night until they kind of say otherwise, or check out their Twitter for that update. Allie Ketch defeated Heather Reckless in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Russ Jones defeated Alex Rico and Rico De La Vega. Ace Austin defeated Jay Chris. And then for the AAW Heritage title, Myron Reed finally defeated Hakeem Zayn to become new champion. That was a good match, I must say. I actually was able to catch that one last Saturday. Down to Chaos Wrestling in Mexico for the Chaos Cruiserweight title. Champion Aztec Emperor defeated Bandit. And then CLL had a couple more matches for their National Trios title. They had quarterfinal matches and a semifinal match where Cansobero and Rajzil and with Virus defeated Espionage, Flyer, and Titan. Yeah, and then there was a 6-man tag match at the end where Mystico, Valenti, and Cristico defeated El Cucutero, Forestero, and Sanson by DQ. I know I just butchered those names, sorry about that. On to Sunday, April 18th, back to Stardom Cinderella Tour in Matsumoto. Another fine show. Unagi Sayaka defeated Lady C. Fuki Gendeth and Rina defeated Mina Sirikawa and Tam Nakano. That's a little bit of an upset, I might say. Where you have a 40-year-old and a 15-year-old defeating 30-year-olds. Yeah, okay. Himeka and Siri defeated Hina and Utami Hashita. Hanan, Mayu Iwatani, and Starlight Kid defeated Konami, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. And the main event was Azumi, Momo Watanabe, and Sai Kamatani defeating Julia, Maika, and Natsupoi with a crazy pin by Azumi on Natsupoi. So that was a very good match there. To Osaka Style Wrestling and Berserker Volume 7 from Tokyo, Japan. Kikutaro defeated Ninagaki Man. Yeah. That had to be a fun match. To Pro Wrestling Noah, Neo Breeze 2021, Day 3. For the GAC Junior Heavyweight title, champion Otsushi Koteji defeated Neo. And then tag match, it was Katsuhiko Nakajima and Masa Kitamiya defeating Keiji Muto and Nomichi Marufuji. There was a New Japan Road to Wrestling Dantuko Day 6 show that took place. Thank goodness Dantuko is tomorrow or later tonight. I have to keep on saying that. There was a Minoru Tanaka Pro Show, the Special One Volume 2, where Takanori Ito and Yu Izaka defeated Minoru Tanaka and Takiya Kawa. The Strong Hearts of Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk defeated Shingo Suzuki, Shugi, and Yuji Hino. And Daisuke Sakamoto and Singo Hiroiri took on Kengo Massimo and Masato Tanaka to a 20-minute draw. That had to be a fun match there. Iserman 11-11 took place. Where Aja Kong's 6-1 team actually lost. So check that out if you wish. Gadamu Chaka Pro 108 on YouTube. Where the Asia Dream Tag Team title was on the line with Balian Aki and Mei Suruga, who were champions, defeating Chango and Psycho. Pro Wrestling Diana 10th anniversary show. Pro Wrestling Diana tag team title match. Haruka Umasaki and Miyuki Takashi defeated champions Ayami Sasamura and Rina Singaki, becoming champions. And then for their world title, Kyoko Inoue defeated champion Ayaka Saito to become new champion. DDT Max Pump 2021 tour in Asakusa. I hope I said that right. Bunch of 6-man and tag team action was on. Big Japan Pro Wrestling, their Deathmatch Survivor 21 Day 10 took place. All Japan Champion Carnival Day 5 show matches took place, as well as a different martial arts fight with Yoshitatsu defeating Matsumoto in round 3. I'm not going to get into the rest of those. Unified Wrestling Oklahoma, back here in the States for Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, where El Gringo Loco and Elijah Sparks defeated Kevin James Sanchez and Malachi. And for the AIWF National Heavyweight title, Blade defeated champion Drake Gallows to become the champion. There was a Lucha Libre Tammys from Commerce City, Colorado. A 6-person tag. Christy Janes, Heidi Howitzer, and Sweet Storm defeated Black Widow, Stephanie Fiacor, and Vina Nosa. That had to be a good match there. To Global Syndicate Wrestling, High Voltage number 3 from Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Excuse me. Lady Frost defeated Johnny Kai. Robert Mortar defeated Yoya. For the Soul of Syndicate title, champion Masa Slamovich defeated Vicious Vicky. And in a non-title match, Alexander Hammerstone took on Gio Galvano, and no winner was given there. So I'm guessing it was a no contest. Empire Pro Wrestling, Thirst for Gold 2021 from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. For the EPW Tag Team titles, in a 3-way match, El Gringo Loco and Elijah Sparks defeated champions Drake Gallows and Raven, as well as Scott Sanders and Sean Sanders to become new champions. So El Gringo Loco is actually a tag team champion. Congrats to him. There was an ASP live stream title with champion Maui Mike defeating Dan Weber. And there was an EPW title versus career 3 Stages of Hell match where Kevin James Sanchez defeated champion Double D to become champion. So he saved his career and became EPW champion. Can't believe for of course. International Wrestling Revolution Group was back in action in Mexico, where El Hijo del Espectro Jr. defeated Blue Demon Jr. and Fersano Jr. Astro Boy, Dragon Bane, and El Hijo de Canis Lupus defeated Dimino Inferno, Emperado Azteca, and Toxin. That'd be a fun show. On to Monday, April 19th, in Tokyo Pro. That's JPW number 3. Of course, this is the English match one of two during the week. So this was Miyu Yamashita defeating Mihiro Kiru. Pretty quick match there, so it really wasn't all that. New Japan Road to NXTUK Day 7. Kaliga Pro started their week in action on YouTube. And of course, I can't believe Frog. Tuesday, April 20th. New Japan Road to NXTUK Day 8, where they had a never open weight 6-man title match with champions Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi, defeating Kenta, Taiji Ishimori, and Yujiro Takahashi. Yeah, that'd be a good match. Yeah, Kaliga Pro, Can't Believe Frog. Ohio Valley Wrestling TV, 11:32 took place. New Studio Wars 15, Spring Slam of Northeast Wrestling from Connecticut, where the new heavyweight title, no DQ match, took place, where champion Dan Moff defeated Sean Donovan. New South Pro Wrestling, South Action Class 32 took place from Haynesville, Alabama. For the New South title, champion Derek Neal defeated Kevin Ryan. Mike Bennett defeated Danhausen. Okay, not in Myhausen. Yeah, so that's nice to see those two in action elsewhere. And then a Pick Your Poison match, Brett Eisen defeated Jaden Newman. To Heavy Metal Wrestling, Mall Madness, number 4 from San Antonio, Texas. For the Undisputed title, champion Jay Sirius defeated Izzy James, and ACH defeated Matthew Palmer. Absolute Intent Wrestling was back in action for Go for Broke number 3 in Cleveland, Ohio, where Eric Taylor and Mike Montgomery with the Duke defeated PB Smooth, Trey Lamar, and Jocelyn Navarro. CMLL was back in action on Tuesday with their Glamour Tuesday, where they had a trios title tournament quarterfinal matches, as well as a FLLM Masters title best to FG Falls, where champion El Santanico defeated Blue Panther. So CMLL seems to be back in action more and more, which is pretty nice to see. On to Wednesday, April 21st, Acer Peace Party 72 took place with more League A and B block matches. DDT Max Bump 2021 Tour and Nagata took place. For the KO'd D tag titles, champions Hiroshima and Yuji Okabayashi defeated Jun Yakiyama and Makazu Oishi. Kaliga Pro, of course. Coventry Pro Wrestling Next Gen Moonlight number 16 from Coventry, West Midlands, England. For the Next Gen Wrestling Heavyweight title, champion Jimmy Vice defeated Lucha Lucha. Nice name for someone in England. Back here in the States for Paradigm Pro Wrestling, UWFI Rules Contender Series, Season 2, Episode 5. Naros Garvin defeated Ron Bass Jr. Cole Radrick defeated Robert Martyr. And for the Heavy Hitters title, Bobby Beverly defeated champion Matt Mikowski to become new champion. To Limitless Wrestling, The Road, Season 3, Episode 9. Delmi Exo defeated Paris Van Dale. And in a Bet of Love tables match, Love Dog defeated Everett. I'm okay, people. I don't know what the heck's going on right now. I mean, sneezing. It's too hot outside right now, okay? I should be outside having some fun. On to Thursday, April 22nd, and Tokyo Pro, that's PW number 4. Yuki Kamifuku defeating Hirono Neko. New Japan Road to NXTUK Day 9 took place. Marvelous Wrestling took place, where Ren Katakura defeated Hibiki. Dragon Gate, the Gate of Passion, Day 11 took place, my fault, with the Open the Brave Gate title. Champion Katsuki Okuda defeated Punch Tamanaga. Back here in the States for Heavy Metal Wrestling, Grind number 3 from San Antonio, Texas, on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. For their GWF television title, T-Ray defeated champion Jeff Grant by DQ. So no title change there. To Friday, April 23rd, New Japan Road 2, Day 10 took place. Kaligo Pro also. Westside Extreme Wrestling, We Love Wrestling number 9, where they had the WXW Shotgun title on the line. Champion Norman Harras defeated Dennis Zinner. Back to Coventry Pro Wrestling in Adrenaline 2021. Still in West Midlands, England. For their Galaxy title in a three-way match, Danny Doherty defeated champion Morgan Black and Apollo Vela to become new champion. And in their tag team title Death Row match, Lucha and Taco won those titles there. In about looks like a 5-team match there. Back in the States for IWA Mid-South, Ted Petty Invitational, Day 1. These for the Ted Petty Invitational 20 first-round matches. There were a lot of matches, so I will just go to a few. Kevin Giza defeated Mance Warner. Alice Crowley defeated Jesse Bell Smothers. Vincent Nothing defeated the One Call Manders. John Wayne Murdoch defeating Congo Kong. And Jake Chris defeated Aaron Williams. That's right. New Japan Strong, number 37. New Japan Cup USA. Day 3. Where Team Filthy of Chris Dickinson and J.R. Krotos defeated Clark Connors and TJP. Rocky Romero defeated Wheeler Yuta. And for the New Japan Strong Openweight title, New Japan Cup USA, the Filthy Tom Lawler defeated Brody King with a Kimura lock, so the referee called Brody King out. So Tom Lawler is your new Strong Openweight champion, and one asked for a quick challenge. No one came out until his friend or teammate Chris Dickinson, who was in the ring celebrating, challenged Tom Lawler. So who knows when that match will take place next. But Tom Lawler versus Chris Dickinson, sign me up. Of course, we got Saturday, April 24th, earlier today, New Japan Road 2, Day 11. Ice Ribbon 11-12 took place. For the International Ribbon Tag Titles, Hiragi Kurumu and Hirio Matsumoto defeated Maika Ozaki and Maya Yukihai, who were champions. No longer. I really butchered how that went. So Hiragi and Hiroyo are new champions there. For the Ice Infinity title, champion Tsukasa Fujimoto defeated Tsukasi Hiroka. Oh boy. Noah Nia Breeze 2021. Day 4 took place. Down to Tasmanian Championship Wrestling, Aftermath 2021, from Lansington, Tasmania, Australia. They actually have a network if you'd like to check out those matches. Where the TCW North ESK title was on the line, where champion Dylan Daniels defeated Charlie Rose. And as I've been saying, CMLL is celebrating their 65th anniversary of Reunion in Mexico by holding a pay-per-view show later today. Of course, April 24th. The headline attraction is Atlantis is back in action, as well as 2 title matches. Before I say that's a wrap, stay strong, Mongo. We are with you. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time with any matches or other news from around the wrestling world. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content, as long as your computer works, or if you can talk straight. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So right now, let's keep rolling right along into the next segment of the show, where I get to play armchair promoter, as it were, and that is the fantasy booker. So this week's fantasy booker, kind of building off of the Kenny Omega and Rich Swann match, and Omega being the belt collector now, as it were. One match that I think just wrestling fans everywhere would go insane to see would be Kenny Omega taking on the New Japan World Champion Will Ospreay. I mean, what the hell can you say about these two guys that has not already been said? Probably, arguably, the two best wrestlers in the world right now, and it's my opinion, by the time it's all said and done, Kenny Omega going to be the AEW champion, AAA champion, and Impact champion, and put him up against the New Japan World Champion. So, this is one I think would draw a lot of eyes, would get a lot of attention, sell a lot of tickets, a lot of pay-per-view buys. Whether it takes place in New Japan or AEW, I don't think it matters, because it would be huge for both companies. And, I think fans would go nuts for this. So, that is my fantasy booker for this week. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay in another title unification match for AEW, Impact, AAA, and New Japan World Championships. Book it now. I want to see it. I think a lot of other people would want to see it. So, and honestly, I would have Kenny Omega going over in this one, and putting the New Japan World Heavyweight Championship on him as well. So we'll have to see. Don't know exactly where the relationship stands with New Japan and AEW. Obviously, there's a relationship between New Japan and Impact, because you've got two New Japan guys holding the Impact Tag Team Championships right now. So this is not out of the realm of possibility. This doesn't have to just remain fantasy booking. So that's my fantasy booker for this week. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. So let's get into the last segment of the show here, where I spew out kind of an unpopular opinion usually, and I don't think this is going to be any different. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the weekly hot take. To steal a line from Eric Bischoff here, fuck Dave Meltzer. That's my hot take for this week. Fuck Dave Meltzer and any of these other dirt sheet, tabloid, quote-unquote journalists. Okay, I'm sorry. I know Meltzer's been around for a long time. He's got friends in the business, but you know what? I think half the time those people feed him false information just to make him look like an idiot, and it works. I talked earlier about the crap that he was saying about Charlotte, and Charlotte calling him out. This is the same thing that pretty much happened to Brad Shepard, who I always referred to as old BS, a couple years ago. Got him just completely run out of the wrestling journalism business. Not like he was ever really a journalist. He's still not. The guy goes from being a wrestling journalist to now a political commentator, and he's just as bad at that. But that's enough. That's enough talking about old BS. He gets no time on this show. But Meltzer, I don't know why people put him on such a pedestal. He's a fan. That's it. That's all he's ever been. That's all he ever will be. He's not in the wrestling business. He's a fan. Does he have friends in the business? Yeah. Do some give him information? Yeah, I'm sure they do. Do some feed him complete bullshit to make him look like an asshole? Yes, they do. Guaranteed it happens. And it works, because he constantly looks like a freaking moron, and his star system is such garbage. People put so much stock into 5-star matches, 7-star matches. Who cares? It's one guy's opinion. I'm sorry, that's all it is. It's Meltzer's opinion. And people love to poke fun at him. If it was in the Tokyo Dome, it would have been 14 stars. And it's true, though. But again, he's a fan. It's his opinion, because that is his preferred style of wrestling that he enjoys, is the Japanese style. So that's why New Japan matches get so many 5-star ratings and stuff like that. And he's got his favorite guys too, which is why you see Kenny Omega getting 6 and 7 stars, and Kazuchika Okada and that kind of thing, which is fine. I'm not saying he's not entitled to his opinion, but that's all it is an opinion. It's one person's opinion. Is it an educated opinion? Kinda, but it's still just based on what he likes, So anything Meltzer says, you got to take with a grain of salt, and pretty much assume until you see it confirmed either on TV or by the actual person or company that is talking about, assume it's a freaking lie, because the guy has been wrong so much over the years. And of course, it's always, oh, plans changed. Fuck Dave Meltzer. Okay, I'm sorry, he's crap. He's a fan. He's not an expert. He's not an insider. He's a fan. Period. He's a fan with a big platform and a big following, but a fan nonetheless. So it is what it is. That's the weekly hot take for this week. Fuck Dave Meltzer. I'll say it again. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Again, want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to follow on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. Head to catchhookshoot.com, where you can find everything about the show, the videos, the podcast, the store, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you're to check out patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, twitch.tv/catchhookshoot for watch parties I'll be doing here, there, and yon. Keep an eye on social media for those. ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for your t-shirts, and you can find all that and more at linktree/catchhookshoot, or scan the QR code right here in the corner. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. Next week, I'll be back with all the results from Impact's Rebellion taking place tonight. So, yeah, definitely check that one out. Can't wait to see that main event, as well as some of the other matches on this card. It's going to be a great show. So, like I said, it'll probably be the first Impact pay-per-view that I've watched in quite a little while. So, should be pretty cool. So, again, thank you to everybody. Hope everyone has a great week. Enjoy all the wrestling coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.